Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out in the lab in the wee hours of the morning. Well, I do what I do for you. You know the deal. Let's go. Right as 25 will live by storytelling, story with a message and a story for life. I'm giving life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking is way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. When daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of obtaining spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission. I'm on it, doggone it. You got yours. Learn it, use it, and benefit from it. Let's go. Know thyself is the question I ask all my right thinkers. One of these persons are you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do. It's for you. I got you. Stay tuned. A person who knows not and believes that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is asleep. Like most people this time in the morning, but I'm the human alarm clock. I'm here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And to my out, be true. Today, I'm taking it back to the basics. Okay? Basic mean I call basics morals, rules to live by. That's right thinking philosophy is based on what? Your personal morals that you have to use for yourself. Okay? Right thinkers, let's talk about morals. What are they? Rules to what? Live by. That's right thinkers philosophy. Let me tell you about it, help you out. Yeah, when I was raised as a kid, moral code, knowing right from wrong and doing what was right. You do what's right, you get rewarded. You do the right thing, you get your goods. You do the wrong thing, you get punished. I was raised that way. I raised my kids that way. Haven't nothing changed. Morals is just like God's law. It don't change. You have them, you stick to them, you live by them. That's what makes them yours. All right? Why? Because of my moral code from my great great grandmother down to my great grandmother and even my grandmother. These are the women who I was raised under, and they were stern, obedient people. They believe in discipline. You get rewarded. You do right, you lick the bowl, you get all that. But if you do wrong, you're getting a whooping. Old school. Now we can't even whoop our kids. That's not, I ain't going there, but that's unbelievable to me. Let's get back to the morals. All right? If you set the moral code for your kid early standard, they will understand that. But if they got no discipline, no moral code implemented at home, the streets, the schools, and media, don't raise your kid. If we are taught, have to be taught and then held accountable, like I did my children at an early age, they will grow with what? Morals. If you have no personal morals, there's no limit to what you will do. Got a word for them too. I ain't going there. But watch this. Now, if you're not taught right from wrong at home at a young age, you're going to have a life full of problems because you're going to have to make adjustments. You're going to have to learn what you need to know to deal with the world. And your moral code should have taken care of that. Your parents should have put you in the right position to deal with the world. My job is to prepare my children for the world. Okay. You got man-made laws, which is you call dogma, religion, the belief system. Okay? And that's fine. Remember, the dog don't need a book to teach them how to be a dog. Animals don't need books to teach them how to be. Humans need knowledge and understanding of themselves so they can do and be better individuals. We're not animals. I study spiritual knowledge, aka God knowledge, or what I call God laws, nature. If God says it's wrong, it's wrong. The Bible, you Christians, If the scripture says wrong, it's wrong. Okay, so the man who wrote that book, that was his concept. God gives you natural nature. It don't change, it don't waver. Maya, she wears the feather. The feather don't move. Okay? Unceasing. That means it's going to continue to do what it does. That's the cycle of nature. That's life. And watch this. We have free will. That's why knowing thyself is so important. Why? To able for you to be your best, you need to know who you are. Our ancients left us that creed. I'm pushing it hard because we need to know who we are. And the more we find out that's a good idea, the more we start pushing. That's the change I'm seeing coming. We're starting to realize we need to wake up. My job to help you do that by any means necessary, according to Malcolm. I'm just giving it to you straight. I don't know nothing else, okay? I don't give chaser. I don't do cut, okay? That book that you follow, the Bible, because you believe in it, which is fine, but it's the word of God. If you think it's the words of God, you are highly mistaken. It's a man book. Man wrote the book. And if you do have some history, I'm tired of giving you the story. Excuse me. About that book. Do your own homework. I ain't got time for that. But I'm letting you know, if you believe that's God's words, and you got the wrong belief. That's all. Check that. Fact check that. When what you taught don't free you or enlighten you, you was taught wrong. If it don't benefit you, if it don't help you, you shouldn't be using it. Why? It don't work, obviously. How long are you going to keep doing something that don't work? Again, another lesson. I know man-made laws. Yeah, we got to live by them. I just don't subscribe to them. Why? Because I know better. I have higher moral status than man's dogma. I have spiritual knowledge, which goes before man's dogma, so I have to follow man's dogma. I have something else. For those who don't, you probably limited it to listen and following that until you get something else. You realize, whoa, wait, yes. It's called ancient history. Our history is ancient. Nobody can claim to be ancient. Ancient means old. Okay? Bring it down. All right, here you go. Right thinking philosophy. Number one rule to uphold your moral code, save your soul. What they mean by selling your soul? Let's get a quick definition of soul selling. When you know right from wrong, you can worship wrong and selflessly do what you want, how you want, but there's a consequence that come with that. As long as you're prepared to pay that, you're welcome to do that. When you do the right thing, you will be rewarded. That's the whole point. If you're being punished, the same person who punished you is going to reward you. And the same person who rewards you is going to punish you. Oh, God's going to punish you. God, no. You control your destiny. You control what happens to you. Adversity is coming to your life to see, are you really down? If your belief is strong, your faith and belief is strong, what you're doing, and if it's well grounded, you won't have a problem. But if you're calling on God and He ain't answering, it must be a reason why. I'll leave that one there. You can figure that out. Let's go. Now, the upholding your moral code is saving your soul. Your soul, aka spirit, is just along for the ride. Your mind, aka consciousness, is in control. That's you. That's your consciousness. That's your free will. That's your choice making. When you have self-knowledge, or knowledge of self, your moral code will be upheld. Why? Doing the right thing is a morally instructed concept. So if I'm going to do what I know to right, I'm not doing what I know to be wrong anymore. I used to do wrong and knowingly, willingly participate in it. I sold my soul. But guess what? I came back and redeemed it. Why? I want it back. Okay? Understand that. With knowledge of self, doing and living right, you can recapture your soul by lightening your heart with the nonsense that it was full of when you made that deal to sell your soul. Do the wrong thing willingly. That's all it means. All it means you choosing to serve the dark side. You choosing to serve the wrong side. So you can't benefit. No weapon formed against good will prosper. Why? Because it's bad. If you don't have your ego under control, meaning mastery of your emotions, controlling your anger, your bad thoughts, negative things. All those are controlled by you. You have no moral code. Anything goes if you don't set forth your own moral code for yourself. Your standard of living is your moral code. What you will do, what you won't do. When I had a little moral code, I did drugs. I ran the streets. I did all the things wrong. And I relished in it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was good. But that was all for this. This ain't the soul. This is the body. If your body is happy, you're probably doing something wrong. Why? Because it only wants desire, pleasure. It's the senses. It got to feel, taste, touch, and hear and see. So if you just operating on that level, that's not a moral code. That's a physical, carnal code. You're living physically. We teach you spirituality because you should understand that it's a higher thing inside you that you can answer to and provide for yourself with. Once you get your moral code, once you start doing living right, you will be rewarded. That's how the game is played. All that talking God and living wrong, you ain't getting nothing for that. Get back. All right, here you go. Right thinking philosophy gives you what? Self-respect, integrity, pride in what? Yourself. And live with a virtuous integrity lifestyle. When I'm doing what's right for me, I feel good, and I ain't got to worry about what somebody think or feel. Why? Because my higher self will reward me for doing just that. If you're blessed, you're doing something right. If you ain't blessed, you're not doing something right. It's simple. A lot of people talking, not many of us walking. They said many chosen, many are called, but few are chosen. That's why. Some of us faking. And all you fakers is protocols as you go through the steps that will take you right out the game. Built-in mechanism to prove the fakers. All right, here you go. Even when I was a drug dealer, okay, I have respect for all my customers. I had a mental concept where I'm serving my people. Yeah, it's drugs, but they want them. I'm just supplying the demand. At that time, that was my mindset. Now I'm trying to wake my people up. Ain't nobody buying that. Okay, I ain't selling. I'm giving. Difference. Okay, you ain't got to pay for it. All you got to do is get it and use it, and it's yours. Moving on. Here you go. Your religion, that belief system, should match your moral code. If you're Islamically, if you're Muslim, you follow the tenets of Islam, that should fall into your moral code with things that you do for yourself. I'm not going to go against my moral code to follow a religion. Simple as that. Okay, so I'm not doing that. If what you're doing, if what you're being taught goes against your moral code, stop listening. Why? It's not going to work for you. Walk away. Like a bad relationship. If it ain't working, walk away. Don't keep personally get back in the counselor. But yeah, if something you're doing ain't working for you, you should do it. That's just common sense. I tell you, I'm not a follower of the well-dressed lie, aka the BS system. Y'all call it religion. My morals won't allow me to follow what I know to be wrong. If you telling me you going someplace, and I understand where it's at, but you telling me the way to go, no, I know. If I know where it's at, I know my own way to go. You may have your own way, which is fine, but don't tell me which way to go. I'm not going to tell you which way to go. Simple. I know what I know. And you live by what you know. You can care less about what other people think or feel. You can maybe help them out. That's what I try to do. Give you information. I'm the information man. I send the stuff out. I'm just sending information. Why? Some of it I just can't teach. Why? I let the person who doing what he's doing give it to you that way. It's just information. I'm a teacher. I have spiritual truth that I've accumulated, learned to study over the years. And I know better than to just believe a well-dressed lie. Belief system has some cracks in their concepts. I personally don't subscribe to all their concepts, so I can't follow you. If I'm not 100% invested, I can't roll with you. I don't do a little bit of nothing. But I fellowship with like-minded people. If my brother-in-law offers me to come to the mosque, I'm going, and I'm going to be a Muslim the time I'm in the mosque. When I go to church, I'm a Christian. If my other buddy asks me to come to the synagogue, which I don't think will happen, but I'll be a Jew. I'll put my yarmulke on and be a Jew. So it ain't having anything against anybody, but it's having your own so you can represent who and what you do. That's all. If you're going to rag on somebody else, you need to have your own. I don't do religion. Why? I have my own purpose and my own reason. I have a built-in concept of dealing with God. I don't need religion for that. It's all spiritual. I need knowledge, understanding. That's why I study. I respectfully disagree with all religions' dogma, okay? Because yes, I do know better and I do know religion. I don't follow it, what they tell you. If you know something and you know it ain't for you, that doesn't mean you don't know it. It means you just ain't following you. That's what you make a decision based on your knowledge. If you're ignorant, you don't know nothing. Know thyself, meaning I'm not ignorant of who I am. All the rest of the stuff I can figure out and learn. But you need to know moi first, okay? Our fellowship, and again, and respect all religious followers when we are in the world of God. We are spiritual beings. So I'm not concerned about your religion. When we worshiping and we fellowshipping, religion don't come into play. Spirituality takes over, and I become spiritually inclined with all the people around. It's a beautiful thing when it's shared and done right. Simple. Last one, I'm about to wrap it up. I appreciate you tuning in. Spiritual discipline is my moral code that I live by. I learned, I put them into effect, and I use them now as a way of life. Why? Because it served me using them in life. That's why I'm passing them along. Like my drugs, I sampled them before I gave them to you. I know what it's going to do. I know how long it's going to do it. I know what it's going to do. That's just how I was. I'm the same way with right thinking philosophy. I can tell you everything about this. Let's go. I have the use of my spiritual discipline when daily, and I will live my spiritual lifestyle daily. I implement it as a way of life. It ain't just something I do every now and then. Nope, nope, nope. 24/7, right thinking. I never turn it off. It's a way of life. My moral code, aka my spiritual discipline, what? Keeps me on my spiritual path, my lifestyle, and being blessed as I go. If you're being blessed for something you're doing, you must be doing something right. I sold a whole lot of drugs, made a whole lot of money, didn't do nothing right. Understand that. Here you go. Self-respect is your moral code. You don't give in to your ego, lower nature. If you just want pleasures, then you give it into the ego self. The ego self, I want that. See a pretty girl, I want that. Okay. That's desires. That's what the ego does. It desires. It craves. It wants. But it will never be satisfied. So you don't want to be a slave to your ego. Don't want to be a slave to your lower self. Why? It's going to keep you living on lower nature. The idea is rise your natures, become a better individual. Empathy, compassion, starts to the heart. Speak truth that come out your mouth. And your third eye will open. Why? Because that's how it's done. It's a process. Simple. All right, here you go. I'm seen to be different, and I'm not proud of that. Why? Because of how I conduct myself when daily. My moral code is always in effect when I'm doing whatever I'm doing. I'm morally conscious of everything I do, aka God conscious. What keeps me that? Spiritual discipline. My moral code and my spiritual knowledge is the way right thinking philosophy works. And it will work for all those who what? Practice it in earnest. Trust me, it works for me and it will work for you. All you gotta do what I tell you to do. I got you. Trust me. I'll be back.